everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shan and I blog all about being I was going to say new mum, but she's 16 months old now, so I'm not really that new, but being a mum, lifestyle, what we do around our area, especially at the moment now that we can't really get out of our area very much, a bit of travel here and there. And today I'm delving a bit further into my wardrobe. So for a bit of background, I have run a personal blog, which I used to call a fashion blog. It was more of a personal style blog. Since 2010 I had that blog. So I used to just document my daily outfits on there, literally anything that I wore. So even if it looked ridiculous or I didn't like it, I used to document it anyway. I did some style challenges, things like the 30 for 30, so you choose 30 items of clothing and only wear those for 30 days in different ways, and remixing items, things like that. And over time I started to realise that the problem with having the blog is that I was trying to create outfits for it rather than to create outfits that I felt good in or that I liked. So it would be ones that I thought photographed well or would be particularly popular on a blog. So that's where I got to with my style. And just before I had Emmy, a couple of years before actually probably, I started to feel a bit out of touch with my wardrobe. And I've gone through big wardrobe culls several times over the years. But now I've had Emmy, I've really realised that my wardrobe just wasn't fitting what I wanted anymore. It was a lot younger, so I was holding on to pieces that, even though I don't believe that you need to dress for your age particularly, for me personally, my wardrobe suited a much younger me. So back when I was 21 I liked wearing colourful tights, and when I was 23 and I liked wearing heels to go to work and stuff. Like nowadays I just don't do that. Nowadays I want to wear trainers so that I can go for walks anytime I want to, and like clothes that go with trainers. For me, like a midi skirt doesn't necessarily, or at least the styles of midi skirt I've got don't go with trainers, for example. So I've been looking at my wardrobe and I started to create a bit of a capsule wardrobe, just of my own sort of idea of what to do with it. So I took out the pieces that I thought I really liked to wear at the moment, and I've hung those on a separate rail. I'll show all of these later on. But so I started using that and I realised I was creating maybe 3 or 4 outfit formulas out of that. And I thought I really need to figure out what I'm doing here, how this capsule wardrobe thing is really working, like how I do this for me. And I came across this book. I'd seen a couple of recommendations for it and I asked on Twitter about it, and my friend Michelle, who I've known through blogging for years and years now, recommended this one to me. So this is the Curated Closet by Anuschka Rees, I don't know how you say that. And I first bought it on Kindle, and what I did first was read the whole book all the way through from start to finish to get an idea of what it was all about. And you work through creating your own wardrobe, so your own curated closet, which doesn't necessarily mean any specific style. So this is to suit anybody who wants to just work on their wardrobe and suiting it to themselves. So Emmy's trying to get in. So I started off thinking I'll go into this, read a book and look at some resources and find out what my wardrobe's missing to make it a capsule wardrobe. So I'd find a list of things that said you need to have 2 of these t-shirts and a black coat and this kind of shoes and everything, and I'd go, oh okay, cool, I've got that and that, so all I need is this, this and this. But reading this book I realised that's not the case. That's not how you should really go about your wardrobe, because there's no one size fits all, to use that term, for wardrobes. So that's what I am following for this process. And I'm really enjoying it so far. So it works a bit like a workbook almost. So you are recommended to keep a style file and you add notes to that and keep lots of notes all the way throughout. You ask yourself questions and all sorts of things. So for my style file I'm just using an old notebook, and I thought I'd document the process here a bit just to see if anyone else is doing it, how they get along with it, how other people, I've been looking at other YouTube reviews of this in the past, and people with lots of different styles to me as well. So it's just interesting to see what everybody takes from it and how they come out with completely different wardrobes at the end of it, because that's the point of it. So the first step in the process is to document your outfits for 2 weeks. So I did this, and I'll flash up those outfits on the screen now. I'll do something somehow. These outfits were during, I think it was June now, so we're in the middle of July at the moment. So they were taken during June while we had a bit of a heat wave. So some of them were on quite hot days, others were on days where it was a bit more mild. So there were some jeans, but it was sort of between 15 and 25 degrees most days, I'd say. What I realised during this was there were definitely a few outfits in there that I didn't feel comfortable in straight away, and then there were the ones that I knew that were comfortable, like in terms of how I felt mentally, if that makes sense, rather than like physically how they felt on my body. Although some did feel physically not quite so comfortable, which is part of the process. You learn what feels comfortable to wear physically for you, and what you feel confident wearing and don't feel confident wearing. So what you do is you look over these plant in the way. You look over your outfits and you decide, you go through some questions really. So it asks you what your favourite outfit was. So for me that was this blue striped t-shirt that I've got. It's a bit of a loose fit one. It's nice relaxed fit and comfortable, and that's with my mom jeans. I'm just going to call them mum jeans, so I feel ridiculous saying it, trying to say it with an American accent. So with mum jeans and a tan leather belt with a gold buckle and my Birkenstocks. So that was when I felt most comfortable, most me in that outfit. It's like put together but casual still, and I could take Emmy out for a walk, and I could go to the office wearing that, or I could work at home, which I'm obviously doing a lot of at the moment. My least favourite was a white vest that I wore and some brightly coloured printed shorts. So I'd worn these shorts, or bought these shorts for really as like workout shorts, even though I don't really work out that much, but they're like fun and brightly coloured. So I thought they're good for yoga in the summer when I get back into doing yoga. We'll discuss that another day. Anyway, yeah, so I wore that outfit and we went out for a walk in it, and it kept me cool because it was a really hot day, but it didn't feel comfortable at all. So even though it was very similar to things I would have worn in the past, like a tight fitting vest top, at the moment I personally don't feel confident wearing a tight fitting vest top or tight fitting t-shirts. I feel like I'm definitely a lot more top heavy. I always have been, but at the moment I'm particularly so because of having a child and breastfeeding, and the balance isn't right for me anymore at the moment. If I wear something fitting on the top, I feel like I want to wear something more relaxed that doesn't highlight the top heaviness. So that to me just didn't feel comfortable. I also wore it earlier that day with a loose fitting top, but even though that was better, it still didn't feel right. It just felt like it was too bright and in your face, and like I think it was the colours were off for me. Anyway, that's more to get into later. So looking at the outfits overall from the whole week, I rated them 6 out of 10 in terms of how I felt about them. So I was pretty happy. I would have said 7 out of 10 if those 2 outfits I just mentioned and a couple of others were slightly different. There were quite a few things that I would change about them. Then it asks you questions like how you describe it. So I say it's casual, it's mumsy, it's laid back. And looking at the colours in it, I noticed a lot of denim, lots of jeans, lots of like navy and dark colours, especially on the bottom, but then lighter colours on the top, so white and then also orange. But I was surprised that I saw white a lot in my outfits, because I don't think that white's a great idea to wear with a toddler, really. But anyway, apparently I wear it a lot. So yeah. The silhouettes and the formulas, I noticed a lot of loose tops, relaxed fit tops and t-shirts with fitted bottoms, or at least fitted on the top, and then straight leg bottoms like the mum jeans, and shorts in a very similar style, just obviously cut off higher up. So that was like my uniform that I seemed to wear, and like with a belt all the time as well, which I hadn't really noticed I was wearing a belt a lot, but apparently that's my main way to style outfits, I found. So there are lots of other questions about how much variation you like, things like that. And then it asks you to look at how comfortable you are in things. how well they fit. So mostly the clothes that I wore during this 2-week time fit quite well, but I'm going to do a deeper look into my outfits, my wardrobe, because I know there are quite a lot in there that don't fit me well. So there are things that I bought just after Emmy was born that are now much too big. So even though they're the sort of style that I want to wear, because it was only recently that I bought them, they're too big. So there are a couple of things that I'd like to get tailored, and just a few other things that I just want to chuck out because they're not right, or send to charity or sell or anything. And then I've got things that are too small because they were back from when I was 21, 22 and I was a completely different shape and size. So there's all sorts going on in my wardrobe in terms of what fits me and doesn't. So that's a whole other bit that we're going to look at later on. And things that I wanted to change about it. I want to look at higher quality items, so not just buying anything because it's cheap or because I can get more of them for the money. So I'm really guilty of doing this. I'm really guilty of going onto ASOS and buying 6 things for £50 rather than just buying one thing for £50 because I can get more of it, so it seems better value to me. And she talks a lot about this in the book, about understanding the value of items, so definitely read the book to find out more about that. I also want to look at things that are better sourced, so more ethically sourced, more sustainably sourced, spending my money wisely where I can rather than just like choosing things at random because I think that I'm like the look of it. So that's what I'm looking to change. So I've already discussed this a little bit, but after that you start to look at your wardrobe as a whole. So ask you questions like, how easy do you find it to get dressed on a morning? And right now I personally find it fairly easy because, like I said, I've separated off a bit of my wardrobe and I'm picking from those right now mostly and trying to mix in a few here and there. But that means I'm only really using sort of 5% of my wardrobe, if that, at the moment. And there's a lot just sat there that's being completely ignored. Some things that I haven't picked up for, I mean, probably a couple of years, that I haven't tried on for a couple of years, not let alone like picked up and looked at, like tried on these things. It is not being used well at the moment, basically. And you're asked to look at how well, so what occasions you have to dress for and how well equipped your wardrobe is to dress for these occasions. So for me, that's working in a casual office. We can wear whatever we want to the office. It doesn't matter. I could turn up in like leggings and a hoodie, or I could turn up in heels and a suit, although I think I'd be looked at a bit funny if I did that, but then again, they know me, so either way, it's a casual office. I can choose to wear what I want, but most of the time at the moment I'm at home and I'm running around after a toddler. We're going to the playground, we're going for walks, we're going to the park. Like occasionally I've got meals out with family, or I had done up until we just ignore lockdown. So occasional meals out with family, and then rare occasions like weddings and christenings and things like that. So I don't need a lot of occasion wear. I need lots of running around at home, going shopping, going for walks, things like that kind of outfits. And then it asks you to look, a quick overview of how well your wardrobe is, like in terms of how it's divided at the moment. So I've said that at the moment I'm doing fairly well in terms of casual pieces. I've got too many gym pieces, but don't tell Ben I said that, because I like to have lots of pretty leggings and things. And I've got too many bold pieces. Looking at my wardrobe, I'm like, there's a whole section of things that I haven't touched for ages because they don't mix and match together, they're way too in your face, there's too many prints and things like that, and bright colours. And it asks you to look at you and your clothes, how you feel about them. So personally for me, I like my outfits to make me feel confident, to be somewhat of a creative outlet. Definitely was in the past. Nowadays I'm not so sure, so that's something to experiment with for me, to see whether it really is something that I want to be creative with. I think honestly at the moment I like ease of dressing for getting up and quickly finding an outfit. But I still do want to be creative. And then you're asked to create your style summary. So, I mean, I've got a whole page, there's like notes and notes and notes here, that sums up basically everything I've said here. What I want to do is learn how to style an outfit better, how to find colours I like to wear, and how to just get a cohesive wardrobe that I wear much more of, and I'm not ignoring all of it. So that's where I'm at the start of the book. I've also just finished now, moving on to the next chapter, creating your inspiration folder. So I set mine up on Pinterest, and just because I'm so used to using Pinterest now, and it does recommend in the book having somewhere where you can move things around. And Pinterest didn't used to have this ability. You used to just pin to a board and it was stuck in the board in the order that you pinned it. I'm sorry, I keep blowing my hair because it's really annoying me. I managed to curl this side with straighteners and I was just messing around earlier. So some of that side got curled with straighteners. This side just wouldn't curl, it just went flat. So I've sort of done something about this side with a curler, but it's bothering me because I can see it. Anyway, Pinterest, you used to not be able to move things around on a board. I discovered that you can move things around on a board now, so you can drop and drag them all over, so that does help a little bit. They recommend later on in the book, when you create more of a mood board, to do it more physically or do it on like Photoshop or something like that, so that you can make pieces that you really want to highlight bigger and things like that. So Pinterest, you can't do that, but for now this was a good way for me to gather my inspiration. So I started it a couple of weeks ago and I've been working on it for a couple of weeks, just here and there, and then the other evening I had a good like 2 hours while Ben wasn't here one evening where I went through I don't know how many blogs, 7, 8, 9, 10 blogs maybe. I went through Instagram, all the accounts that I like. I went through my old Pinterest fashion board and pulled out things that I like from there. I googled things, I looked at websites where I like to shop, and so basically I put all my inspiration into this one Pinterest folder, Pinterest board called, I think it was my Curated Closet, something like that. So I'll pop a link to that below so you can have a look at it, and I'll probably flash up a screen scrolly thing now. And it was really interesting because straight away I could see the styles I was going for, which immediately were like basic kind of plain clothes, no prints, just no prints at all. Like there were 2 or 3 florals that I put in, but they were really very occasion wear focused ones, so that was interesting. Apparently what I want to wear right now is very basics focused, so that just really highlighted to me what's going wrong with my wardrobe right now, which is it's completely overflowing with prints and a crazy toddler. Knock, knock, knock! So it's overflowing with prints and colours and patterns, and the only real thing that wasn't just plain colours that I had was stripes, so like blue stripes here, and the colours were very clear as well. Interestingly, I'm wearing blue today, and I said my favourite outfit from the ones I took pictures of was one with blue stripes in it, but there's very little blue apart from denim in my inspiration, which is interesting. The only blue I have is with stripes, so apparently I like blue in stripes but nowhere else, and blue in denim. But with denim as well, I was very specific with that. It seems to be I like washed out denim or worn in denim, I would say. So anyway, so you've gathered your inspiration, then that leads you into the next section, which is breaking down the things that you like. So you look at them overall and you split it up into categories. So the overall vibe and individual items and colours and silhouettes, materials and styling. So this was what I've been working on today, just before I filmed this video. Individual items, I've already mentioned these a lot, so things like mum jeans and shorts, and denim jackets popped up a few times as like top layers. And interestingly, I noticed like, I don't really know what you call them, like cocoon style coats, and that's not my cat. There's a cat with 3 legs outside our door. Oh, it's really cute. We used to have a cat with 3 legs when I was little. Abby, she got hit by a car and she had 3 legs for like most of her life. So there's a 3-legged cat here as well, that's nice. Anyway, so yes, denim the coats I was talking about, cocoon style coats and like mac and not quite trench coats. There's a baby on the chair now. This is distractions left, right and centre. Anyway, so coats, and that was top layers, the sort of things, and longer coats and cardigans, which is interesting again because I always want for more cropped styles, but I noticed the inspiration that I was pinning was all longer styles, so that's something for me to try out and look at, which is the next stage of the process that I'll talk about in a minute. Striped tees, flat shoes and trainers especially. There's a pair of Allbirds trainers that I really want because I love their ballet flats that I've been wearing recently. Basket weave flats and sandals, the belts with gold buckles, that's like a massive staple apparently in my wardrobe, and basic tees. So that was individual items that were coming up again and again and again when I was pinning things. Colours, like I said, were really obvious. Lots of warm like brown and rust and like amber and orange and ochre sort of colours. So it's funny because I wouldn't have said I was drawn towards those, but I've got a couple in my wardrobe already. I mean, over autumn I definitely go towards that side of things, like brick red as well. Like I go towards that sort of thing in autumn, but apparently I like to wear it all year round. I've also always previously worn it in in tops, not bottoms, but I was like pinning shorts and trousers and things in these colours. So that's something I really want to try and see if I like that idea. And then lots of denim, like washed out, worn in denim, a few blush pinks and sort of mauve. I don't know how you say that either. Why can't I say things? And gold jewellery. Look. Right, cat interlude over. We're nearly finished, I promise. Ben was just like, are you being nice and concise? I was like, yeah, definitely, yeah. Really concise. Anyway, that was colours. And then silhouettes. This has already been obvious probably in what I've been saying, but high-rise jeans and shorts, and interesting, skirts and dresses weren't really coming up. Dresses hardly at all, which I'd always said was like my thing. I did not wear jeans. I wore dresses all the time, but there were a couple of skirts, so midi skirts that were high-waisted and flowy, not quite full, which again I would have said I was very retro vintage style before, and I would have said full skirts before, but these were less full and more just floaty. So I'd like to try a few of those, see what I actually think of them. The mum jeans again in straight leg trousers, not just jeans, trousers. So I haven't really been into trousers either. Like jeans, I've never really been into them before, so I want to try some straight leg ones. And there are a few wide leg styles too, which I would really like to try. I'm not sure because I don't feel like they would suit me, but I really like the look of them, so I'm going to try them and see how they look. Then, like I said, the long coats and cardigans was an interesting one, and obviously fitted waists and loose fit tees and floaty relaxed fit tops, and a few shirts as well, like this sort of style shirt. Materials a bit more tricky, but washed out denim, like broken in denim, chunky knits in terms of jumpers and things, the loose fit chunky jumpers, relaxed fit jersey t-shirts, twill shorts and trousers I've written down because I feel like that's the material that I'm thinking, but I need to go out and feel them and try them on, I think, for that. And lightweight cotton like this one, and then leather just in terms of belts, and probably shoes as well, like ankle boots and like basket weave type shoes in leather. Then styling, this is where I trip up because I'm very lazy and I just literally put on the bare minimum, and I just wear like my rings day in day out, so like my wedding ring, engagement ring, and then this is a milk ring. So I wear these day in day out, but nothing else really apart from belts. That's the only other accessory that I would style an outfit with. Occasionally sunglasses. I do wear sunglasses, but only because I'm going out somewhere where it's bright, and apparently my eyes are quite sensitive to light, so I wear sunglasses a lot. What came up my inspiration was the type of outfits I was pinning. People were wearing hats with them, and I really like the look of the hats with them, like the sort of wide brim ones, or even just, why can't I say words? Fedora? Does anybody else get this where you read words and you don't know how you say it out loud? Is that just me? Handbags. Everybody seemed to style these sort of outfits that I'm thinking with handbags. So whether that was a big leather one, like I've already got, I thought it was in here, but it's not. I've got a big leather one from a company called Matt and Nat, and I love it, but I wouldn't think of it as a way to style an outfit, more just a way to carry all my stuff, which is why it's huge. So I like the idea of that being a part of the style, that you tie it all together with that. Also crossbody bags and like basket weave type bags as well. So those are more things to try for me. In terms of styling as well, tucked in tops, which I do already, but also just tucking in at the front. So I've actually, you can't see I've done that with this one, just tucked in at the front and left loose at the back. So apparently that's a way to style things, different ways to tuck things, and rolling up cuffs on jeans, things like that, and even on tops. Like this one's already got, oh no, it doesn't have them rolled up. And knotted front shirts as well, I've noted down. So that's how I'm going with the styling, at least from my inspiration. And then this was a bit trickier, the overall vibes. This was the first question, but I actually left it till last until I'd got an idea of what I really liked overall. And I had to do a bit of Googling to try and figure out what exactly it was that I'm going for. And I actually asked Ben as well to have a quick scroll through my Pinterest and just say, what style would you call this? Because the words that kept coming to my mind were just like casual and relaxed and mum and like that sort of style. So I was like, classic casual, it was a bit boring. And I realised, I looked at my related pins on the board, and quite a lot of the websites they were linking to were talking about French fashion. And I was like, oh, interesting. And when I looked at those as well, I actually pinned a few more from these sites, because it turned out that was the style I was going for, very classic. So what I'm saying is French mum chic, so, or like casual French mum chic. That's a lot of words. So that relaxed style, apparently it's French, and it's chic, but it's mumsy, so it's practical and sensible. Like you can wear it to go for walks and like go on the school run eventually, the nursery run at the moment. That is the overall vibe that I've got to. So this is where I'm at right now. I've just, why won't this close? It's broken. There we go. I've just been putting away some washing, and I started pulling things out my wardrobe being like, no, this doesn't fit anymore, this doesn't fit anymore, I don't like this. And I was like, no, wait, put these back a minute, because some of these I shouldn't just be chucking out like crazy all over the place. So my plan is, my next step of the process is to, well actually this is a good way to do it. The next step in the book is just to go out, go shopping, and just try on anything, like everything that you want to try on. Really experiment with different styles, so things that you wouldn't normally wear. Oh, the cat's off. Things that you might not normally wear, things that inspire you like the look of or the colours, and get an idea of what you feel comfortable in and what feels good on your skin and all those sort of things. The problem is at the moment that shops have only just reopened, and personally I don't feel comfortable going in, and I don't know actually, I haven't looked, I don't know if you can try on things in shops at the moment, but if you can, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, especially because I'd have Emmy with me who would be just like licking things probably, so that's not a good idea right now. So my plan is to use what I have in my wardrobe. Like I said, I've got stuff that's been there for a long time and isn't my style anymore, and some things that haven't really ever been worn. So I've got a big range of things already in my wardrobe. So I'm planning to try on pretty much everything in my wardrobe. All the different prints and colours and styles and shapes and sizes. Yes! Knock, knock, knock! I'm coming, just a minute. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try on those, and during this process I imagine I'll realise there are things that I really do not like and do not suit anymore. I can picture already a few things in my head that I think that's just not me at all anymore, and there are things that I've worn and I haven't felt comfortable in them, and I put them back in the wardrobe just because I thought I might do one day, or they might fit better one day or fit differently one day, which I know they're not going to now. Why am I keeping them? So even though the next stage isn't to colour your wardrobe, in fact they recommend not colouring your wardrobe completely and ending up with nothing, there will be some colouring happening in my wardrobe in the next stage. And I'd also like to separate out bits that I want to get tailored to see if I feel happier in them. Because for example, there's a skirt I've got that is very much the style of the things I've been pinning, but I haven't been wearing it because the waist is really big, which means it sits like a couple of inches lower than it's supposed to, which then takes that down to a lower waisted skirt rather than a high waisted skirt, which isn't what I want. So once I've got it tailored, it might actually fit my style better and I might wear it. So like I said, I'll put some things to one side to tailor, other things aside for charity. There are things that I know that I'm keeping hold of because they're sentimental items, like a dress I wore to my school leavers ball. So I was 18. It's short and tight. I'm not going to be wearing that anytime soon, definitely. So that can go to one side for sentimental things. And then like my graduation dress, I'm probably won't wear it again, but it could be a good occasion wear. And then there are things like I've got a fitted floral dress. Anyway, I'll get to these later, but that one that I'm talking about could be occasion wear. That might be something I wear to weddings or christenings. So that's my next step, and I will, oh goodness, I'll do another video on this. So that's the next step of the process for me. I've actually got a couple of items on the way from a company called Everlane that I came across on a few of the blogs that I was looking at, that really fitted in with the style I was looking for, just basics that could be used in many different ways. So I've got those on the way at the moment, and they'll also contribute to the she's trying to break in. They'll also contribute to the big try on that I'm going to do, because there are a couple of styles that I wouldn't have just picked before, but I've really thought about them and matched them up with what the style is I'm looking for, but haven't got in my wardrobe at the moment. So that I'm going to try those on and see how they fit. And yeah, I'm really excited about it, to be honest. Like, it feels like I'm getting somewhere, and like the outfits I've been wearing recently feel a lot more me, and I feel a lot more comfortable and confident wearing them. So hopefully that's how I'm going to feel about my wardrobe at the end of all this process. But I'm going to keep you up to date, so follow along if you're interested, because it's a big process and it's really interesting to try. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe by hitting the button. I think it's on that side. It's probably going to be that side now. Do that thing. Like this video. Drop me a comment if you've done this curated closet thing before, or if you plan to do it. I'll just pop a link to that in the description below this book as well. But I'd be really interested to know if other people are doing it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Can you show me? Where's the cat? Can you give her a cuddle? Oh.